Hi, my name is Brooks, and today I want to give you a little bit of insight into writing, writing paragraphs and writing essay. And this is academic writing. Academic writing is very different from normal writing emails or writing letters or writing in a journal. There are really specific things that teachers are looking for when it comes to writing academically. This is a workshop that I put together when I was working as a teacher at Istanbul Technical University. So, the essay that I chose to write in this is about traffic in Istanbul, and you'll see that. So I wanted to start by just giving an overview that, as I said, academic writing is very different from normal, everyday writing because it's very repetitive and it's almost like a formula. The good news is, once you have that formula, then your academic writing will be better. But basically, the way it goes is first you tell the reader what you're going to tell them. That's your introduction. Then you tell them, that's what's called the body. And then you tell them what you told them. So that's the conclusion. So you can see that already starting out, it's repetitive. So let's start with the paragraph. A good body paragraph or a good paragraph is about 6 sentences. And each sentence has its role, as you'll see. That the first sentence is called the topic sentence. So what you're saying is, this is what I'm going to tell you about. As I said, tell them what you're going to tell them. Then the next 4 sentences are going to explain your point of view. You're going to tell them. You're going to say, I think this because of this. And the 4 sentences are usually separated by what's called transition signals. If you use Google or ChatGPT and find out what transition signals are, you'll see that there's a whole list of them. They can be, tell you the order first, second. They could tell you additionally, moreover, or they might be opposite. On the other hand, however, these words are called transition signals. And then the final sentence will be the summary or the conclusion of the paragraph. And so let's get into it. Let's start with the topic sentence. Now, your topic sentence is the subject of your paragraph, and it should be very brief and to the point. You don't want to put a lot of information in the topic sentence. When you write the next 4 sentences, that's where you can really shine. You can make the sentences as really as long as you want. But so I'm going to put together a paragraph now about how cars contribute to Istanbul's pollution problem. So if you notice, my sentence here, this is in the middle of an essay, is cars are one cause of pollution in Istanbul. So it's to the point. You know that everything in this paragraph is going to be about how cars cause pollution in Istanbul. That's it. There's no more. This is like an anchor. You can think of it as an anchor because it's going to hold you to the subject. When you write the next sentences, you should look back and say to yourself, does this explain how cars cause pollution? Because if it doesn't, you've either got the wrong sentence, the wrong supporting sentences, or you've got the wrong topic sentence. But they must match. So we start with cars are one cause of pollution in Istanbul. Okay. So when you are trying to put together your paragraph, it's a really good idea to do this kind of mind mapping. Because, okay, cars cause pollution. Great. How do they cause pollution? And you can just brainstorm. There can be air pollution or environmental pollution or beeping the horns or carbon monoxide or ozone layer is affected or they throw trash out or noise pollution. Just any idea that you have. But you want to brainstorm. And then after you brainstorm, you want to select how cars cause pollution in Istanbul. And or so here I've chosen air pollution and noise pollution. So my first sentence, supporting sentence, is going to be first, they cause air pollution. And how do they cause air pollution? Look at the other thing down here. They put carbon monoxide into the air. And then I've chosen noise pollution. And how do they cause noise pollution? By beeping the horn all the time. And so first you have your topic sentence, cars cause pollution in Istanbul. And then you support that. You say first they cause air pollution, also they cause noise pollution. So again, it's really, really important that there has to be a direct connection between your sentences. It can't be, if there's a disconnect, you will lose points or you will get a bad score because what you're writing is what's called off topic. It will be off topic. So, for example, we're writing a paragraph about how cars cause pollution in Istanbul. But if you write something like, cars cause pollution in Istanbul. First, they cause air pollution. So far, so good. You're still talking about pollution and cars. But then if you say air pollution causes a lot of cancer in people. Well, that's not really a cause of pollution. That's an effect of pollution. And the teacher will notice right away and they'll say like off topic, you didn't get it. So you've got to be very careful. That's why I put that anchor symbol, that your topic sentence is your anchor. You really want everything to point to that. Okay. So we brainstormed already. Okay. So after you've brainstormed your ideas, you write them down. So far, we have two sentences. First, cars cause air pollution. Additionally, they cause noise pollution. So we have our topic sentence. Cars are one cause of pollution in Istanbul. And how do cars cause pollution? They cause air pollution and they cause noise pollution. But now, here is the part where you can really shine. You can show all your fancy vocabulary, your sentence structures. You can really go crazy with the next sentence because the next sentence you have to explain how they cause air pollution, how they cause noise pollution. So that's going to be your explanation. And again, I can't say this enough, never forget your topic because um, you'll lose the reader's interest. That's true. But also, if we're thinking academically, you'll lose the teacher's interest, which usually means a lower score. So here's a sentence. First, cars cause air pollution. So that's my topic sentence. It's very brief, it's to the point. Um, excuse me, that's my first, what we call controlling idea. It's all right. So first, cars cause air pollution. Thousands of cars take to the roads in Istanbul daily, emitting huge amounts of carbon monoxide in their exhaust. So you don't have to go too deep when you're writing a paragraph. This just gives enough information that I said cars cause air pollution, and this is how they cause air pollution. I've used higher level vocabulary like emitting and the expression take to the roads. So this is where, as I said, you can shine with your vocabulary and your sentence structure. Then I have a transition word. Additionally, they cause noise pollution. Again, those ideas, those supporting sentences, the first one can be very brief. So, because the next sentence is going to be explaining it. How do they cause noise pollution? And my explanation is because many drivers are easily agitated and are often temperamental. If you have been to Istanbul, you will know this is true. They constantly beep their horns and fill Istanbul's air with unnecessary noise. So I've used higher level vocabulary such as agitated and temperamental. I also used a sentence structure of putting because first, so I need that comma. So that's a higher level complex sentence. So now, um, so again, notice that our first of the four sentences, so our topic sentence is very brief, and then our supporting sentences, our first sentence is brief, and then the second one is more intricate or complicated, and that your supporting sentences really stay to the topic. Cars cause pollution in Istanbul. First, they cause air pollution. Additionally, they cause noise pollution, and you can see the transition signals. First, comma, additionally, comma. And again, you can search for, you'll find hundreds and hundreds of transition signals on the internet. All right. Now, your conclusion sentence, you would think like, I don't need a conclusion sentence, but unfortunately, um, when you create these paragraphs, and next we'll talk about essays, it's almost like you must wrap it in a bow to give it to your teacher. And so this conclusion sentence just wraps everything up. And basically you're summarizing your paragraph. And it really is essential in academic writing, but of course it's not necessary in everyday writing. This is why we don't have the habit. So in your conclusion sentence, you should start with something like in a nutshell, or as you can see, or in conclusion, and just repeat the idea. So in a nutshell, it's clear that cars cause air and noise pollution in Istanbul. So you're not giving any suggestions or ideas or adding to it. You're just wrapping it up. You're just saying, okay, see, first, cars cause air pollution, and this is how. Additionally, they cause noise pollution, and this is how. So, as you can see, cars cause air and noise pollution in Istanbul. So, again, here's our final product. We start with a topic sentence, very short. Cars are one cause of pollution in Istanbul, period. Then our first supporting idea. First, cars cause air pollution. And then our longer explanation. Thousands of cars take to the roads in Istanbul daily, emitting huge amounts of carbon monoxide in their exhaust. Now we have our transition word, additionally, and our second supporting idea. They cause noise pollution. And then we have our complex sentence explaining how they cause noise pollution. Because many drivers are easily agitated and are often temperamental, they constantly beep their horns and fill Istanbul's air with unnecessary noise. And now we have our conclusion. In a nutshell, it's clear that cars cause air and noise pollution in Istanbul. Okay, so that's a paragraph. Now we go on to essays. Now, essays, it's the same concept. It's really the same concept. The only really big difference I can say is your introduction paragraph, because your introduction paragraph is, you can see it's upside down, that you're going to start from general or wide and get to specific. But, and then the last sentence is going to be a thesis statement and controlling ideas. And I'll show you that in a second. And then your first controlling idea, your second controlling idea, those will be your body paragraphs that I just showed you. And then your conclusion. Now, your conclusion paragraph is really going to be 2 sentences here. So nothing has changed in terms of length. Your introduction will be 6 sentences. Your body paragraphs will each be 6 sentences. And your conclusion sentence would generally be two, um, 2 sentences. So you're talking about 20 sentences. And that will yield you about 350 words, 300 to 350 words for an essay, which is generally what teachers are looking for. If they want more, if they want 400 words, for example, it's easy. You could add just a third controlling ideas. So um, there are 3 reasons that X happens, you know, B, A, and C. And you could just throw in another paragraph, but following the rules that I'm giving you now. So let's say that the topic is, what are the causes of pollution in Istanbul? So that's the essay topic that they give you. Now, and then again, brainstorming. If you are given a timed essay, you have like 1 hour to write this essay. This is the best thing that you'll do. You'll setting up your ideas and trying to brainstorm everything before you start. That'll be perfect. You'll finish your essay before you know it. It'll be finished. But let's go back. The essay topic is, what are the causes of pollution in Istanbul? You can almost write the thesis statement right away. So let me get this here. So I could write here, there are several causes of pollution in Istanbul. Oops, Istanbul. But 2 stand out. If it's a longer essay, if they want 400 words or 450 words, but 3 stand out. But you can take every question, no matter what the essay question is, and you can just turn it around. Like if the question is, what are the causes of pollution? You say there are several causes of pollution. If they ask you um, something like, should um, I'm thinking off the top of my head. I could do a web search and find like lots of essays, but let's say, um, should school students wear uniforms, like high school students? Should high school students wear uniforms? Now, this one you might have to say yes or no, and you would say it in the thesis statement. There are several reasons why students should wear uniforms, but 2 stand out. Or if you're against it, there are several reasons that students should not wear uniforms, but 2 stand out. You can see this formula is going to work for no matter what the topic is. Now, there are different ways you can write this, but this is the way I teach it. But two stand out, and that way, it's really helping you to anchor those ideas because once you have the anchors, there are several causes of pollution, but two stand out, and you what I'm going to come to, you'll see it in a second, are cars and factories. I found after I did a brainstorm, that's what I came to. So my first paragraph will be about cars, which we just did, and my second paragraph will be about factories. And then we'll have the conclusion. So let me erase that. Okay. So again, um, the first thing that you can do, the best thing you can do is brainstorm. Brainstorm your ideas before you write anything, because then you can really check to make sure it's anchored, to make sure there's a direct connection to your topic sentence. Because if there isn't a direct connection, then it won't work. So once you have these controlling ideas, your essay really is almost written. So you leave space at the top because I have to teach you how to write this intro paragraph. So you leave space enough to write 6 sentences on the top of your essay. Then you write your thesis statement and controlling ideas. There are many causes of pollution in Istanbul, but two stand out, cars and factories. Then the topic sentence for your first body paragraph, cars are one cause of pollution in Istanbul. And then you leave space, enough for 6 sentences. And then you write your second one, factories are another cause of pollution in Istanbul. Leave a space for your 6 sentences. And then you could put in your conclusion. It's clear that both factories and cars are major contributors to Istanbul's pollution problem. You see, there's so much repetition. Um, Saying the word cause again. And and this time I used contributor instead of cause, just to break it up a little bit, but it means cause. So this is like a skeleton. And once you have the skeleton, just fill in the rest with your paragraphs. Okay. So the second body paragraph is going to be like the first one that we did. So as you can see, oh, this is the conclusion. Okay. So write the second body paragraph in the essay. So what you do is what I said before. You brainstorm how do factories cause pollution in Istanbul? And what kind of pollution do they cause? And and I I haven't looked at this for a while. I'll see it in the end, but I'm sure um, that pollution is factories cause water pollution and air pollution. I'm pretty sure because of the chimneys that send things into the air, and then of course they screw up all the water. Okay. The conclusion, I told you it was 2 sentences. So one sentence is your summary. Tell the reader what you told them, as I told you before. As you can see, cars and factories are major contributors to Istanbul's pollution problem. And then a final idea, just like a solution. Perhaps it's time for the government to do something about it. Some just final thought, but don't open another can of worms. Don't don't bring in another subject. When you bring in another subject, either any place in your body paragraphs, in your introduction, in the conclusion, it's almost like you talking about this subject. Um, cars cause pollution in Istanbul. I love Christmas time. Like they don't go together. And so we need to really make sure. That's why I put those anchors there. You have to really make sure that what you write is always anchored to your thesis statement and controlling ideas and the topic sentence or the first sentence of your body paragraphs. It's very, very, very important. Okay, now the introduction is a little strange because what you're doing is I showed you that upside down triangle. Your introduction for any essay or academic paper or something that you're writing, you want to go from general but related. Again, it can't be unrelated. So in our essay, what are the causes of pollution in Istanbul? We have to talk about pollution and we have to talk about Istanbul. We have to get that, and it's very important to talk about cause. So you can see that I start with pollution is a problem all over the world, so it's related. We're talking about pollution in Istanbul and how what causes pollution. And so we need to start general. So I start pollution is a problem all over the world. Again, you can't start with, I love Father Christmas, because even if you're thinking about talking about how his sleigh causes pollution, every December, it's going to be seen as off topic. The reader has to really know that what you're talking about. And the reader here can see that I'm talking about something that has to do with pollution. And then my next sentence is this problem is seen mostly in cities. So I went from all over the world to cities. And now I'm going to bring it to specific cities. Large cities such as New York, Paris, or London are known for their beauty, but also for their pollution. So again, I went from all over the world to cities, to specific cities, and now I'm going to the city I'm talking about. Istanbul is also among the list of beautiful yet polluted cities. And then my thesis statement and two controlling ideas. There are many causes of pollution in Istanbul, but two stand out, cars and factories. So once you have these two things together, you understand how to write an introduction paragraph, you understand how to write a body paragraph, you are set. That's it. That's it. It's like a formula. You can take my final essay, which I'll show you at the end, and you can copy it and you can use that as a formula. So here's our completed essay. It's 232 words, so it's a little short. But here's another thing. As a teacher, I can tell you, we were not counting words. Like if I asked you to write a 300-word essay and your essay looked like this, but it came in at 232 words, I absolutely would not punish you because what we're looking for is structure. Does the introduction paragraph go from general to specific? Is there a thesis statement? Are there controlling ideas? Are each controlling idea the topic sentence of the body paragraphs? Is there a good conclusion? So that's what we're looking at. It's actually much better to have a nice, clean, shorter essay than a long essay that brings you off topic and down different roads that you don't want to go down. But try to get as close to what the teacher wants as possible. And you do that by really making the explanation sentences. You give all your information in that. Maybe Maybe you need two sentences instead of one for your explanation, to make it a little longer. But don't mess with the topic sentences, um, and don't mess with the conclusion sentences at all in the paragraphs or at the end of the essay. So, really, that's what I have to say about writing. I know this is a quick, really down, quick explanation, but if you have any questions, I'm open to answer them. But this will really help you. I can tell you a short story that when I started university, I started a little late. I was 25 years old when I started university. And I thought I was an amazing writer. Everybody loved the way I wrote, but I never learned academic writing, and I couldn't understand why I was getting such bad grades. Then I had a friend who had a PhD in English literature, and I was complaining to her. I'm like, why am I not getting these grades? And she said, let me see. And she looked at it and she wrote, like I'm giving you, she wrote an essay and said, this is your formula. Go and do this all the time with every subject that you write with. And after that, I've never had a problem academically. So thanks for your attention, and have a good day.